My name is Evelyn, and the way that I got into lacrosse is actually kind of funny, or at least I think it is. I borrowed a DVD from my local library when I was a teenager, and it was a movie called Crooked Arrows, which, if you play lacrosse, you know it's probably one of the top three lacrosse movies. There's only about five of them anyway. I was like, wow, this sport is so cool. I really want to play. And eventually, I started playing for a uni team, and someone recommended I come to Brunswick to play proper field lacrosse. Um, Being part of a team was a very different experience for me. I didn't grow up playing team sports. I grew up doing sports acrobatics, so very different from a team environment. But it's been really nice in the sense that I've come to learn what it means to work with other people, and it means a lot to me. Honestly, it's nice to know that I have people in my corner when I'm playing a sport, and to know that I have people in my corner when I can't play that sport, whether I'm injured or many of the other things that come into play in our very busy lives. Um, I don't know, it's really nice to have this community here and to know that it's somewhere that I can come, and whether I'm playing on the field or doing something in the canteen or the kitchen or just hanging around, it's nice to know that I have a spot here that is welcoming for me. I've been thinking about this one, and there's so many that I could list off. But I guess one of the biggest barriers is still the societal norm for women and girls playing sport. For so many, you grow up in primary school being like, yeah, sport, we love sport, and as you get into high school, some of your friends are maybe told, oh, playing sport isn't very girly, isn't very feminine, or they're not allowed to for whatever reason, and then because you're a teenager and you want to be like your friends, you maybe don't want to play sport because you don't want to be seen as othered. And as that progresses, and as society tells us, oh no, women should be doing A, B, C, D, and E, it makes it harder for us to then access sport as we get older. And just even the concept of trying something new as an adult is already so scary. And if it's something that you didn't do when you were growing up, it's a massive challenge then come into an environment where you have never been in this sort of space before, you don't know anyone, you don't know how to play a sport, and you don't know what the expectations are. It is a really intimidating environment for a lot of people to come into, even if it is as welcoming of an environment as Brunswick is. Kathy Freeman was a big one, just being an absolute gun. Being a kid, you'd always hear about her and see her in her very sick unitard and be like, yeah, that's a cool woman. And then growing up, because I did sports acrobatics, Nastia Lucan was one of the best gymnasts at the time, and I always thought she was really cool. And though my sister will argue this, I would have to also say my sister, growing up, she did a lot of sports. When she was a teenager, she did BMX racing as one of the first women to compete in that field. And then growing up, also did, community netball and a lot of other sports. And I, as a kid, was always like, oh, netball's a girly sport, and I'm not going to play that. And then I would go and see her absolutely dominate and just be an incredible athlete, and still to this day is someone who I am very inspired by. Loud. I don't stop talking often. I'm easily distractible, but I'm working on it. Um, and someone who tries. It's been a way that I've kind of found a very big part of my identity as an adult, being someone who plays sport, playing in a team. It's meant a lot to me, even though in the last couple of years I haven't played very much because I've managed to injure myself a couple of times. Knowing that that's a part of me that I can go back to when I want to and when I'm ready to physically has meant a lot. Um, and again, just having that community around me has really meant a lot to me. There's a couple. I got to represent my uni for the uni games in Queensland. We won bronze, and I was really proud of that. And quite a few moments from my field career, the first and only goal I've ever scored in 5 years, and the first time we won a game, And the first time he won a game with me playing in goal, um, I was sobbing after that. I was so proud of myself and my team for being able to win that game. And it's something that like I still look back on with so much fondness and happiness. Oh, so much. But one of the big ones would be to just take a breath. It's okay. You don't have to be the best at everything you do. Learning is normal. Um, and to just be okay with making those mistakes and not letting that set you back so far and building that discipline and that practice. I think it was really interesting to watch the team grow. I remember the first few times we kind of met as a big senior group of the men's team and the women's team. Kind of, it was giving very grade six disco where the boys would stand on one side, the girls would stand on the other because we just didn't know each other yet. But from a structural level, it's been really good because, at least from my perspective, my voice has always been heard, the women's voice has always been heard, and we've been able to advocate for ourselves where needed. Um, certain things that maybe women would prefer or need versus what the men have just been like, yeah, no, this is fine. But also not always having to advocate, oftentimes having people say, hey, we noticed this thing, or hey, what about this thing? And being really championed behind a lot of by the senior men, being championed by a lot of the senior men and a lot of the leadership and senior members of the club has been really nice. But it's also been so incredible to watch the teams grow. I remember when it started, there was, 13, 15 of us, and now there's two question mark senior women's teams, a junior team again, and plus all of the mini Mavs who are going to be coming up in the next few years. It's so incredible to see that growth and to see the club flourish. And also, I'm not saying that we made the club better, but have you seen our events now versus in 2019? We've made the club better. Happy International Women's Day from Brunswick Lacrosse.